Hello everyone! In this episode I'm gonna be going through how to display objects in JavaScript. So yeah, first we gotta create an object that we will display. So let's create one. Let's say const person equals an object, add a semicolon to the end, and let's say the name will be Hobart. Let's say this time. Last name will be Simpson. Age will be 13 and is in school will be true. So now we have an object. Let's create a paragraph. So P with the ID of example, and I will leave it empty. I'm gonna go ahead and get that paragraph. So document.get element by ID. The ID that we are getting is example, and I will store a reference. So const text equals this. And now I can say text dot inner HTML equals person. So that will show object. So if we simply print the person object, this will be the output. Now we can also take all the properties and separate them with a comma and a space. So let's take person.name plus comma space plus person.lastname plus a comma and space plus person.age plus comma space and plus person dot is in school. Alright, so right now we have Bart Simpson 13 true. So yeah, that's also another way how we can actually get the values out from an object. Then I'm going to show you something new. This is going to be called a for loop. Now we haven't discussed for loops yet. I'm gonna discuss them in the future, but I'm gonna create one right now. So I'm gonna make this like example. Alright, there we go. So let's create a variable. Let text equals an empty string. Then we can say for let I, which means index, in person. And then we will loop through the person object as many times as we have the indexes or properties inside. So text plus equals person at the index of I, and we will separate these all with a space and semicolons. And then we gotta do example. So we'll take this one, the paragraph, and change the text content to be equal to text. Now we have Bart Simpson 13 true on the page. So basically this for loop will loop through this person object and take all the properties and show them on the page or wherever you decide to output them. So yeah, that's another one we can use. I'm gonna be talking about for loops more later in the future. One thing to note here is that we cannot use person.i. That will not work. It will result in undefined. So we gotta use the straight brackets on this one. Alright. Then we can also use something called object.values. So I'm gonna go ahead and say const my array, and we are basically going to create an array out of the object. So my array equals object dot values and then the name of the object, which in this case is person. There we go. So then we can go ahead and get the example, which is the paragraph, access the text content and make it equal to my array. And this will result in this. There will be commas but no spaces. So this is another way to display the output. So here we create an array. And here we display the array. So yeah, this is another way to achieve the same. Then we can also use the object.entries method. So let's go ahead and say let text equals an empty string and use a for loop again. So let, then some straight brackets. Let's actually change this. Let's say fruits. And then we'll have some apples. We will have 238 apples. Bananas. We will have 148 of them. And coconuts. We will have 211 of them. Alright, so there's our fruits object. Now let's go ahead and type in fruit and the amount inside of these straight brackets. And then we can use of object dot entries and enter the fruits, the object. Alright. And inside of this for loop, we will say text plus equals fruit plus a colon space plus the amount, and we will also add an HTML element, and that's gonna be the break tag. And then example.text content equals text. That's not supposed to be showing up. Well, we can do this. So right now we will have apples, 238, bananas, 148, coconuts, 211. So that's another way. So yeah, there's a few examples of how to display objects in JavaScript. Anyways, I hope you were able to learn something new from this episode, and I hope that I'm gonna see you in the next one. Happy learning everyone, and bye bye!